Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily Grace with Pastor James. Thank you for joining me in this episode. Let's start with a little story. About last weekend, I had this talk with our men's fellowship uh, group. We were celebrating their men's fellowship, and I had the chat. And after the chat, I asked for questions. Of course, various questions came up, but there's this one that was a bit interesting to me. Somebody just asked the question. He said, "How do I deal with disagreements? How do I deal with people or handle people who disagree with me?" And I thought that was an interesting question, a good question for that matter. But then, when you truly look at it, there is absolutely nothing wrong with disagreement. We are meant to disagree to agree. But it becomes an issue when the disagreement is motivated by hatred, when the disagreement is motivated by self-interest, when the disagreement is motivated by a destructive tendency, that is when it becomes an issue. And of course, at that point, you are no longer talking about disagreement, but you are now talking about difficult people, difficult individuals. Even the Bible himself, and the Bible itself said things about disagreement. If you read 2 Timothy 2:23-24, it highlights the importance of avoiding pointless arguments and instead focus on gentleness, patience, and kindness in dealing with disagreements. You see, disagreements will come. And of course, if you also look at Matthew 18:15-17, it outlines a process for addressing offenses, starting with private confrontation, not really confrontation, but at least just going to the person and letting the person know, and then escalating it to involving others if only that is necessary. So you can just go through the Bible and you see what that it's saying. Acts 15:36-41 illustrates a sharp disagreement between Paul and Barnabas, demonstrating that even godly individuals can have strong disagreements. But that is not what our focus is today. Our focus is dealing with difficult people, dealing with people who are very destructive, dealing with people who are negatively motivated. How do we deal with such people? The Bible tells us again in Proverbs 15:1, it says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." And if you look at Ephesians 6:12, it says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies." These people, some of them are just instruments in the hands of the enemy. We all know that there is a great challenge in our today's world, in life, in dealing with difficult people. Because if you look at difficult people, they come in different shapes and sizes, but they have certain things in common. All of them, they will drain your energy if you allow them. They will distract you from focusing on what God has called you to do if you allow them. And they will also derail your momentum. These are the key reasons why you really need to handle this carefully. Jesus had to deal with difficult people. So it's not a new thing when you see difficult people in your life. Jesus himself, our master, had to deal with difficult people. And if you are going to follow Jesus's example, there are certain things that you need to put in place. So how did Jesus model this? What are the practical strategies that he used in dealing with these difficult people? We'll just quickly go through them. The first one is realize that you cannot please everyone. It's not possible. John 5:30 says, "By myself I can do nothing. I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me." You see, in this world, you just want to say, what has God laid in your heart? What is God calling you to do? So long as you are pleasing God, that is just the main thing. Even God himself cannot please everybody. Because sometimes we cry for rain. Sometimes we cry for sunshine. And the Lord is asking, where do you want me to go? This set of people is asking for rain. This set of people, they're asking for sunshine. And you are not God either. So don't try to please everybody. If you let people's demand drive your decisions, guess what? You will burn out fast. Instead, just focus on what God has called you to do. And the second thing I want you to know is refuse to play their games. Refuse to play their games. Matthew 22:18. But Jesus knew their evil motives. Remember, we started with that. Jesus knew their evil motives, and he said, "You hypocrites, why are you trying to trap me?" And this is exactly what the enemy is using those difficult people to do. Difficult people try to manipulate you. Manipulate you. Some of them manipulate you with guilt, some of them with fear, some of them with anger. But Jesus never fell for their traps. And I pray that you and I will not fall for their traps. He responded with wisdom, he responded with truth, and he responded with clarity. And that's what he wants you and I to do. You don't have to meet everybody's expectation. You just need to focus on God. Where you have to say no, you need to say no. And where you need to correct, where it is absolutely necessary for you to correct people, don't shy away from it. Just correct the truth in love. And that is what the Bible instructs us to do. That's what the Bible instructs us to do. The third thing, don't retaliate. Leave them to God. Matthew 5:38-39. You have heard the law that says, the punishment must match the injury. But I say, do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. It's difficult, it's challenging, but what that is saying is you don't just play their games. Don't do it the way they are doing it, because when you retaliate, you have given up your control over the situation. The fourth thing is pray for them. Yes, you heard me right. Pray for them. Matthew 5:44. But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. And we have them all over the place. Prayer can be a game changer. Pray for them. You can't change their minds. You can't please them, but you can pray for them. Difficult people come in many forms. A writer wrote this: forms of difficult people. He said, the shaman tank runs over anyone who disagrees, and we have them all over. The megaphone dominates every conversation. The bubble buster deflates every new idea. The volcano explodes with anger. The crybaby constantly complains and pouts. The neat speaker obsesses over minor flaws, and the space cadet lives in a different reality. Brethren, you've heard all this. I pray that the Lord will give you the wisdom to handle difficult people in your life so that you can move on and focus on what the Lord has called you to do. Thank you so much for listening to me in this episode. Once again, my name is Pastor James Egodibe, and I pastor RCCG Solid Rock Parish. Derby. We are just right in the center of the city, Exchange Street, DE1 to DU. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.